very well. So I hope it will work today. So let's see. Today we are the exercise will be shadow work. So I personally experienced several different modalities when we worked with shadows. And one of them was holotropic breath work, some body work, some constellation work. So I believe it's a great opportunity to look at your shadows, to find a great energy resource in it, and bring this resource, connect with this resource at the present time, at the present moment, and see what the good purpose of those shadows. Because I think that like we always have tools that move us forward, to help us to adjust to the environment, to achieve something like great purposes of ours. And sometimes we just give a misinterpretation of those qualities and misuse it as well. So today I want you to find the real purpose of all qualities that we defined as bad ones. It's very hard to see what is bad in us. And I believe that we can find, it's much easier to identify the bad qualities, shadow qualities, when we look at other people. I have to remind you, wherever we look at somebody's, good or bad, it's our definitions. It really doesn't have anything to do with the people. We see our reflection. It could be a little bit a different scale, but it still be our reflection. We always notice what we don't recognize in ourselves, or recognize in ourselves. Like we only recognize what qualities we have inside. So today we will start looking at somebody, looking at their qualities, and connect with the greatest and best purposes of those qualities. So we'll start with an exercise. As always, we'll do 2 minutes exercise, but today we will do a little bit different. So I want you to pick a person or creature or group of people as well. It could be that somehow you feel you don't like them, you're very emotional about them, something that really disguise you, some resistance to these people, something that like, oh, how they can be, how the earth can carry on these people. So so it could be not a human, it could be an animal. Maybe you have a phobia and some of the creatures can be very scary for you, like snakes or spiders. This is another options. Or it could be some groups of people that, and in 2 minutes, so you pick yours. And I told you, like the first class I did with a person, another class on Friday I did with an animal, snakes. And it's both times I found something very, very important for me, some qualities that really I'm cherished now. So, which was really surprised me. So today I'm not sure what I'm going to work, but
I don't either.
So you can create, like if you've done already before, so you can try to do not somebody else, but like try to do yourself and see what kind of qualities show up. Okay. Because like maybe you're advanced enough to look at your qualities fairly and
I
see
think so.
So it's an invitation for everyone as well. So if you want to work with somebody else, or with a creature, or with animal, or with yourself, so this is an opportunity. So I'll set up 2 minutes clock, and let's see. I need to find this up. Timer 2 minutes. Okay, set, go. Any language, they can repeat it. All qualities that are coming to you. So just want to clarify it. We have about 20 seconds. Okay, so look at your list and see if there is any good qualities. Like you define them as a good. If no good qualities, look at all those bad qualities that we identify as bad. And
is a stubbornness, is that good quality or bad quality?
It really depends how you identify it. It's you who gives the judgment and grade. Like there is no good or bad. It's just see, because for example, I recognize it as a bad, but for you it could be good. So it's a and see how if any of those qualities really strikes you, like something that really surprised you. So very unusual ones. I have one, but I don't know how to translate it in English, so I'll keep it for myself.
What is it in Russian?
It's
or is it in Russian? I shouldn't assume. Whatever.
Let's say next step, very important step. So before we go this, I want you to place your feet on the ground. I want you to feel grounded and supported by the earth. And be very honest to yourself and look at the list. And you can say or just read in front of each word that you wrote, each quality, you put I, and you just look and say, I such and such, I such and such, and see how much emotions will start rise up. And just look and don't overanalyze it. Just pronounce it, because this is what your subconscious mind showed up. So this is something that is very important for you to find resources from. And if you did not have any good qualities, like that we recognize as good ones, we will have an opportunity to, first of all, bring the goodness from the not so good, and add additional qualities, so we will feel supported. So how do you feel now? Do you feel emotional? Do you feel resistance? Do you feel stubborn? Do you want to work next? Do you feel like, no, it's not me? The scale could be different. Like when we look at somebody else, we always project a bigger shadow, like it's always bigger. So it's in yourself, it's probably even smaller, but there is a sum of it. There is some qualities of it. Let me change the camera. So I wanted to show you the two drawings that I've done on other classes related to the same theme. So this was one when I worked with another person, and this was one when I worked with a snake. So completely different experience, even different colors. So I'm like really, I'm very curious what it's gonna be look like today, because there's I know that there is no expectations how it's gonna be. So next step, what we want to do, so I want you somewhere in the middle, draw a circle that will represent yourself. How you see it right now yourself, like just as big as you want, as big as you feel you are right now. And we start drawing shapes of those qualities that we wrote for this another person. Any shapes, like they can be very not well identified. You can put some identification what it was, or it could be well-defined shapes like this. And if you have a good ones, you can bring good ones as well. Of course, they can overlap. So you just, I want you to make this scheme that not necessarily you need to draw for each qualities that you have, because it could be just too much. Make sure that you just bring some of them, maybe 6, 7, 10. Just see how much you want. This was and of course I have this beautiful quality stubborn, which is quite a big one. Some of the good qualities you can draw as a circles. Let's see, one bigger circle that was original. This will be. And just see, like, notice how you feel when there's so many qualities around you, and how do you feel? Like, do you feel small suddenly around all these shapes, around this beautiful, perfect circle? And or maybe or maybe you feel lonely. Like, notice what's your reactions when we bring so much around you. So I think I will be okay. So for some reason this strange quality that I want. Okay, so this will be triangle. So next step, I want you to show on another piece of paper. So I believe this is my idea. So when we have, for example, any shapes that are not circles, we want to find in these qualities what is the good purpose of this quality, what kind of help, what kind of support it can give you to survive, like in the different situations, sometimes not very pleasant situations. For example, if I have this, let's say this is a stubborn, and I want to find the good quality in it, and I draw a circle inside of it. Oh, and it's interesting how the circle is really interesting. So, and this will be, so the stubborn, what the good could be out of the stubborn? The stubborn could be that I persisting, the, like I can be working hard and be sure that I reach the goal when I need, like that I don't give up easily. So this is like really the goodness of the stubbornness. And the rest that does not belong to the circle, you don't have to color it, but I just want to show it. The rest is the mass that does not belong to this goodness. We don't color it on the on our drawings. I just want to show you the scheme. And we can have a different shapes. And when we find the circle inside, we will later start dissolving this old boundaries of this, like all this mess, all this garbage that, because each quality has a different aspect. It has some goodness and something that we misuse it, misinterpretation. So everything that really does not belong to the goodness, we try to dissolve in surroundings. And I will show you just in a moment, like in more detail when we start to work on this. Okay, so very important. We find goodness in each qualities that we have. Okay, so for example, and some circles will be big, some circles could be very small. And you may even have 2 circles or 3 circles, like there could be small goodness in one big quality. And if you don't know yet that there is what could be the goodness of this disgusting quality, just draw a circle and see. Just be aware that goodness always exists. Like if like if you are selfish, so that maybe that the goodness of this could be that you can take care of yourself, that you really worried about yourself, that you can the priority is your satisfaction. And it's really in the world, when we're taking care of ourselves, it means nobody else has to take care of ourselves. Of course, we usually give the misinterpretation of it, and we tried to the whole world start working around you. This is not exactly so. That's why we have some garbage around that will be dissolved later. Okay. And if you feel maybe that you are not smart enough, the goodness could be that you keep learning and learning and learning, and this is a very important goodness. Like when you know that you don't know something, you keep learning and finding the resources for the information and for your education. Aristotle was selected as the smartest, no, the oracle said that he's the smartest man in Athens, and he was surprised, started asking other people to see maybe there's some mistakes and some other people are smarter. And he said like, yes, I think I'm the smartest because everybody thinks they know something and I know that I don't know anything. Okay, so see what other qualities need to be. And again, I repeat that you don't like if you can identify the goodness, good. But if there is a difficulty for you, you can just draw a circle and allow yourself to be aware that the goodness exists. It's maybe not obvious right now, but it exists. And you will be surprised that universe will give you some clues later and show you where is actually, what is the goodness, what is the best use of this quality could be. So just experience with this. And I have one more. I want to make it clear that right now we are not even working with the person or creature that was original. You can keep it in mind, you can remember it, but we are working with ourselves. Those are our qualities. Those are our goodness or garbage. So this is a work that we are doing with ourselves, not with somebody else. We don't try to change anybody. We all neurographic work is always focused on self-help or self-motivation, self-progress, and it's only we're changing our perception of life and our perception of ourselves. So, okay. So next step, very important. I want you to connect yourself, this is I, with neural lines, all qualities, good qualities, the goodness that we found, we connected. Not just the quality that was original, but the goodness of it, the resourceful side. And we just connect and go beyond. We connect and go beyond. And see, maybe some of those qualities you want to connect easily and bring more and more lines, and some of them not as important, or maybe not as emotional. For example, I have this very interesting quality, like that I did not know that it's my shadow, but this is very clear that intensity, that I'm an intense person, and I recognize it as a bad qualities, but it seems like I see much powerful resources in it. It just I guessed there was resources, but now I can see how much there are, how much I can be not proud, but accept it and be grateful for it. And see, maybe some of those qualities are very connected. They could be connected by overlapping. And see if you have any value different, like some of them could be smaller, some of them could be bigger, and you just observe it. We don't really identify, oh, this is a bad because it's too big, or no, we just observe and see like what is your subconscious mind is trying to whisper you, like what this clues about this importance of this qualities gives you.
It's funny, more connection I'm making, more loving myself actually. So I was like, wow, I'm so good.
Yes, yes.
Oh, wow.
And it's interesting, like, because when we, I believe, when we say like all these qualities with I, I'm like, oh, I'm not this person. Like, it looks like a very painful experience. But now, when you see the goodness of it, it's not an excuse to behave bad, but really to see that, like, I have everything I need. I just maybe don't use it as it should be. And what's the goodness is how I can be aware what is the divine purpose of this quality. Maybe I name it wrong. So this is a different. And we all have these bad qualities and lower vibrations, lower emotions, and they need as well. They are needed as well. And it's we usually behave like this when we are tired, when we feel something is we don't have enough energy, or when we have to react to the situation very fast. So this is we always have this in our life, all these reactions. So, but now when you know that it's okay. So yes, I can be sometimes depleted, energetically depleted. But if I start blaming myself, like, oh, and like cursing myself, like for making mistakes, it's you will be just you're going nowhere. It's like you're going to the like very bottom and start get even worse behaving. Okay, so now we have all this beautiful mess on our drawing, and we can add more lines later, but make sure that we start rounding corners. And as I said, like these original shapes, you may start dissolving them just by adding neural lines along them and continue. You can, and if it's not, usually like if it was a not well defined shape, like not triangle or square, it's easier to dissolve. It's easier to see how it's pay attention which one you want to start working with first, or maybe one of them could be very emotional and huge resistance even touch them. It's an opportunity as well. So to just explore, just notice. We're learning something new about yourself, something very honest, something very dark sides of yourself. Like, and it's okay. There is a saying like, my subconscious is like a bad neighborhood. It's hard, it's scary to go there alone. So you are not alone on this journey. We are going there together, and just explore. And remember, you are the light at the original. So this is your resourceful condition right now. So you always bringing the light here. So you see the sources of light in every qualities. That like there is a, it's not the dark situation. The light is within you. And it's a great opportunity when we have energy, when we have time, when we have a desire, and when we have support from other people, to look at those qualities instead of just be isolated with them and ignore until they start like really screaming. So, when I did holotropic breathwork a few years ago, I had a very clear vision experience that shadow, the far you tried to hide from it, like the farther you tried to escape from it, it's getting bigger and bigger. So it's like really you don't escape from it, you make it bigger, you make it more powerful. But if you try to suppress it, it's even worse because you are creating very intense bomb, emotional bomb that can explode at any time. And it's can hurt yourself and people around you. So the best opportunity and best option is just look at it as it is without trying to escape, without trying to hide it, and accept it. Look at this first and accept it, and accept, and it can be very friendly, and it can be very it's actually not as scary when you look at this. It's not as powerful when you bring the light to it. And not judgment. Like, we really don't look, when did it happen? What was the condition? We don't try to excuse ourselves. We're just looking at it. Look and accept. With all these faults we've done in our lives, and maybe behaved not at the best, it's okay. We are humans. We are not saints. We are not angels. We had to learn this experience. And the best will be if we learn this lesson and keep moving instead of trying to hide from our, like when we're hiding, we're trying to hide it from ourselves first. And when we try to hide something, it's getting so obvious. Like, have you noticed when kids try to say lie? It seems like so obvious when they doing it. And it's when we try to hide something, I believe it's for universe, it will be obvious for sure. And for other people, maybe not for everyone, but for many wise people, it will be noticeable. See which ones you want. You invest more time. You tried to resolve the first. So maybe they are the most important right now. Maybe some of them, maybe you need those qualities right now to move forward. Like if you are trying to do something, like do regular exercises, maybe stubbornness is the best friend, the best ally for you to achieve this goal. So and when we have this opportunity to round all these corners, see if you can say thank you to this quality, to be honestly, sincerely grateful for it serving you the best. It's serving you great deal. You achieved something because of it. You are here because of it. So notice how your body is reacting, any emotional discoveries, any discomfort in your body. So this is all this interesting experiences that we pay attention, your body, your emotions, your mind, maybe any insights show up. And you may recognize that some of this first lines, like first boundaries of these qualities, some of them are very easy to dissolve, to let go, and some of them are so well defined, so how to say, like so rigid that it's very hard to dissolve them. So just observe it. And maybe you will start when you, like, we have this dialogue, constant dialogue or monologue with ourselves. Instead of calling yourself this, some of those qualities, you can call them different, like call them like resources, like friends. And it's and notice what will be the shift. How do you really start recognizing yourself, like when you have this new, completely new set of skills, set of qualities, beautiful qualities. and just because everything is beautiful, we just, it's really like when we work with dirt, like the dirt itself is not bad. It's just when we tried to use it and misplace it, it has this horrible effect, like get dirty. But if you plant something in it, it can be very important resource. It's very supportive and very grounding. So this is, we're going to our, yes, they can be lower vibrations, but it doesn't mean that they are bad. It's actually could be very important to stay connected to the earth. That's a lot of lines I did today. And for future, if you, well, I know that I did not give you this option at the beginning, but if we have this so many lines and you get very overwhelmed by them, for future you can create few lines around corners and add additional lines and round them, so you can do the rounding before. So because sometimes I know that it's could be very dramatic when it's like how I can out of this mess create something beautiful. It's too much. So if you're one of those people, you can, and when I said like one of those people, I mean that just it's your quality. There is nothing like good or bad. It's you need to be very honest to yourself, like how you what is comfortable for you, what is not. Why do you have to push harder when it's not, there is no need really. And notice like when we start already rounding more and more, how is your body relaxing? Is your mind more relaxed? Is your emotional actions are more peaceful? It's really like the more lines we have, the better. But it's a very, still be a lot of work. It's a lot of work to find the goodness in something that we, sometimes the whole life we identified as a flaw, as a horrible quality or bad quality. And it's not just we identify them, like it could be a family program that like your parents always told you that no, this is not the way good girls behave or something. Like we have this all this interesting stories about what is good and what is bad. So just allow yourself to observe it. If you have any questions, let me know. And next class, next week class will be, I hope, much more easier. So I think we'll just do the few small exercises how to really help yourself when we have stress and we need to release it quickly. So I have in mind 3 exercises, but we'll see how much we can do. They're much smaller and will be just for every day. Help. Because how many times you're going to do this shadow work? It's and one more thing that I wanted to mention, like we don't try to work with all these qualities at the same time. Like you can really make priorities. What is how much you can integrate right now, how much you can look at it. So it's don't try to do everything at the same time. Like be very gentle to yourself. Save something for later. Make priorities. Or observe what are the priorities right now. This is could be a very interesting experience. Just notice what is coming right now and what is stay behind. And it's interesting, like when you ask different people to give a description of the same person, each of them will have a different, some of these words will be similar, but each of them will notice something different, something that's important for them and maybe not so important for you. So it's and notice how, like, when you connecting everything, that you are getting much bigger, you are getting much stronger, and you are not limiting yourself to be connected only to, let's say, like, it sounds a little bit I hope it will not be a misinterpretation. Like, you are not limiting yourself to be connected only to good people. You can find the goodness in every person. Again, not excusing, but finding the goodness. When we're accepting our darkness, we easier, not easily, but easier, may accept the darkness in somebody else. And we already discussed it last time that darkness and evil are different. And what is really the darkness and what is really the light? It's a very complex question. Because light could be, people who say that they are light could be quite ruthless. it's a good to know what is how to define where is the light and where is the darkness. You can rotate your drawing to whatever makes you comfortable. And it's a lot of work to round all those corners. So. And we will do more steps that will create even more corners. So we'll see. There is always people asking, should I round all these corners, or should I, can I just do few of them? The only person who identify how much corners you want to round is yourself. If you feel like, okay, so this is enough, I can deal with the rest of the conflict in my life. It's if it's okay with you, you don't have to round all of them. But another question, when people don't really recognize all corners, they don't recognize all the conflict in their life, and it's a different limitation, like when you get involved in conflicts without even recognizing that this was a conflict. And just somebody recently asked me, is it good just to avoid all those conflicts all the time? I would say no, it's not very healthy, because when you try to avoid your conflicts, it means that you're trying, it's very hard for you to say no. When we say no, it's you're not satisfied with something and you're ready to face the conflict. When you cannot say no, you have to sacrifice, you have to agree with somebody all the time. And it's really sacrificing your opinion, sacrificing your I know the time, energy. You have to do something that you are not ready to do or not agree or sincerely agree to do. So it doesn't mean that you need to say no all the time, but you have to have this freedom to choose. Like when you want to cause the conflict, or when you prefer to save your energy, and maybe it's a good opportunity just to follow somebody's decision. So it's really you who identifies which battle you want to fight, and or which battle you want to negotiate and find compromises. So it's a question of be consciously aware of opportunities, your opportunity to choose. And I know that drum didn't work well, but I brought today another musical instrument from Russia, and I hope it will work with my microphone, and see how it's. Okay. So everybody is so quiet today. I know this is a big theme, very important, but if you have any questions, if you have any comments, for those who done it before, see if any changes, any different experiences compared to the first time you've done it.
I have yet to finish my coloring of my last one. I found it very, I just keep looking at it and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know.
So allow yourself to do something that's very unusual for you. Maybe something that you've never done before.
This is where I'm at. I literally pretty much haven't touched it since you taught last. I added a little kind of a, I don't know what color you'd call that. Like, it's like a skin color almost.
Like peach, yeah, skin.
A little bit, yeah. So I just keep leaving it out, and I'm like, maybe I'll come up with something. Like, a part of me honestly really wants me to color this kind of like a pig. Like, that's the nose and those are the ears.
Create it. It could be actually, pig could be a symbol of motherhood and prosperity.
Ooh, well, maybe I'll go with that.
Yeah, it's
now I feel better about it.
It's always an option to find something good about it's our perspective, but in other cultures it could be completely different. Okay. And really, it's try to lose this analyzing which color I want. Try just to see which color is trying to be there, like which color wants to be there. This is when not you who tried to identify, but just follow the flow. Allow yourself to be guided. And like when we start already finishing the roundings, notice which quality is left, which one are the last one you are ready to work with. It's an interesting observation. So just pay attention to such details. And remember that when we finish the rounding, say thank you to this quality. Say kind of gratitude, bring your gratitude to it. And see how it's completely different experience when you thank something. Gratitude has one of the highest vibrations, and it's the easiest way to change conflict to find something that you could be grateful, even if you're not. It seems like there is nothing can be changed. Just say thank you. So like if you notice that like all this customer service now, when you come to them like complaining about something, they always start, oh, thank you. And it's the whole story is changing. Like, and people get relaxed when they feel this different reaction. When we just moved to the US, I was surprised how many times Americans and Canadians as well like say I'm sorry. I'm like, it feels like sorry here, sorry there, everywhere, and it's if you notice there is much more sorry than thank you people pronounce. Interesting. This left behind. It's really like a meditation, so many lines. My husband received an official note from his work that they are going to work till the end of year from home. It's an interesting experience. We'll see. For more than a half of the year, he will be working from home.
Is that disturbing? One husband home?
It's definitely, we already adjusted to it, but I'm just cooking. So constantly, I feel like I constantly cook something because we have 3 men in my house now, like my husband and 2 grown-up boys. It's I'm already, if it's 6 more months just cooking and cooking and cooking, it's a lot of work, I have to say. I love to cook, but it's a different when you want to do it and when you have to do it all the time. It's different.
Speaking of cooking, did your birthday fellow get beef Wellington?
No, he said like no, and surprisingly for me, his order was fajitas, which I think is one of the simplest dishes I can do. And it's like, I'm like, okay, I'll go with this. I offered him, now he didn't want to. And it's, but he had his cake, of course. And just, I actually liked it. I had an opportunity to try new dishes during the like something new this year, because much more time another thing that I've noticed, I'm usually a very social person. Like I go to the theater, opera, ballet, different concerts, and even it's everything closed, how much time it's saving when you don't go anywhere. I love all these concerts and big gatherings, but at the same time, I enjoy so much to just be home. Like every evening I'm home, and for me, it's a blessing because it's different.
Maybe the boys will learn how to cook.
They already do. And yeah, we have, and we subscribe to Blue Apron, and they not allowing me to cook when Blue Apron, because I am the one who doesn't follow directions. So they say like, no, you're just stay away from the kitchen. And it's my husband and older son, like my youngest doesn't really love to cook much. But he's doing some of his dishes, and it's so. But like another question, like if I'm satisfied with what they cooking for themselves, like it's if I want healthy options, I need to be creative.
Maybe maybe you should get more Blue Apron so they do more cooking. Take the burden off.
It's only fun until it's fun. So I'm like, if we already, I'm surprised that they do it twice a week, and it's good for everyone and for them. Like we signed up to teach my son how to cook before college, because he never had a need. So Blue Apron was a great opportunity for him to learn all those basic skills, and it took him 1 year to learn some of this interesting, simple dishes, how he can do it. And look at here, he is home again, and it's not much need again. It is perfect. I'm just still be a little bit how seriously it is, like if it's till the end of the year. Okay, so next step. I finished. I will just show you, and you can do it whenever you're ready. So next step is really activate this goodness. Like we connected the goodness to ourselves, but the goal is not just connect, but really use this goodness, energetically accept it, and bring it to the biggest capacity. Like make sure that this is working. And what we are going to do, we'll do it from the middle of yourself, from your shape, your circle. And I'm like, you can say, put your feet on the ground, like make sure that you are grounded. Make sure you have this support from the earth again, so we don't really flowing in our cloud. And we start drawing a spiral, like we're activating, and it goes somewhere beyond the page. So we really allow ourselves to be connected and energized by these resources we just found in these qualities. And again,
can we use a different color for that?
It will be a little bit challenging for you to integrate. So if you're taking the different color, like let's say the lighter color for the spiral, all these corners that will be created, you need to round with this lighter color. So just be aware. There will be some challenges to integrate, so to make sure that everything seems connected. But you can try, see how it works and see how it feels. And it's what is I've noticed that it's really different every time I'm doing. Sometimes shapes are more important. Sometimes spiral is more important. So it's just observe it. What is a priority for today? Is it, do you need more energy, or do you need to feel connected, or do you need to feel the flow? So every time you are a little bit different, you're a little bit changed since last time, and it's okay. It could be, everything is dynamic, everything is on move. And we're the June will start with like it's already almost eclipses starting. 3, we're waiting for 3 eclipses, 2 lunar and 1 solar. And everybody is predicting that it will be challenging time, but it's only challenging when you don't have enough energy, when you don't have enough resources. So that's why we are doing this. Like, we need to activate all the resources we have, or convert all qualities we have into resources. So this is our preparation to move forward and just move smoothly. We don't try to avoid anything, but it could be a smooth transition. It could be very progressive and very simple transition, actually. So there is we don't have to be agonizing about those eclipses. It's okay. If for yourself, it will be a blessing. Okay. It's interesting. Every time I've done the spiral, every time it looks different. This one is not as intense, not as prior ones. It's just energy, just moving. It's enough. It's interesting that so much unusual dreams I have this lately. Some of them are very funny. And it's in one of my dreams, I was helping Kate, the Williams wife, we are drawing Neurographica together. So it's like, oh my gosh, it's interesting. Now I'm like working with a royalty. It's it was fun, even just in dream. Why not?
It could help her. May it do so.
Yeah, I think with 4 kids, it's a handful. Yeah,
She definitely need that.
well, yeah.
I think the royal family always have a problem more than we are. So they need more help.
It's just their problem always on display. And that's everything seems like a problem, even it's not. So it's just a different kind of attention. So but it's definitely makes everything more complex when everybody is watching you. Who eats what, who sleeps with whom, and it's like really, I don't think they are different. They just escalated somehow. It's a challenge to be observed all the time. There is no privacy, really.
I find myself having tension in my legs. But I think that happens quite a few times on a lot of drawings.
So make sure that you put your feet on the ground.
They are.
Breathe. They are, okay. So is there any particular part?
Flexing them, tension, yeah.
Is it any particular part of the of legs that is tensed?
Just my legs.
Just legs? Below knee or?
More thigh.
Thigh, okay. So the legs usually is, of course, it could be grounding, lack of grounding, but it could be, you know, when you expect so much changing in your life and you are like standing on ice that can be changing at any time, and we feel a little bit, not a little bit, we feel great tension moving, because every move will have will cause a change. So it could be one of those situations, but maybe you just need to move. This is an opportunity to stand up and just walk. See, maybe it's helping. So. Just keep moving. Okay, I'm almost finished with rounding. One more. It's very complex. I think it's much more complex than any other exercises. Like it takes almost 2 hours just round all these corners. I personally prefer to round all corners. I don't want to leave behind anything, but And it's interesting, like you think that you finished all the roundings, and when you start coloring, you can always find something new, something missed. It's much easier to find when you start coloring. It's hard to believe that it's almost end of May, so it's only a few days and it will be June. Summer. And I was talking about like with Russians and like, oh, we have already spring break or summer break at school. And it's like, really? It's already summer. Everybody was waiting for summer. Yeah, like in Seattle, we always wait for summer when it stopped raining. And there are so many people outside now. When you go on trail, it's very hard to follow the social distance. People cannot just stay at home anymore on weekends. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. I think this one has, yeah, even compared to the last two, this has probably more lines than ever. And what I've noticed that every time I'm working, so I've done it's already, this is my third time. Almost every time there are new qualities. Some of this, like very few that repeating, but most of them are new. And I'm like, wonder how many times I can do and they will be new and new and new. How many qualities, how many resources more I can accept, I can integrate. And maybe you notice that maybe you want to add more positive quality, like really qualities that you recognize in yourself as positive, something that maybe this you need right now. So it's always options to see what do you need besides all this energy, but maybe that we activating, but maybe there is a very particular quality that you need, that you are looking for, or maybe it's a feeling that you're looking for. Don't hesitate to add them. Like you can draw a circle wherever you want to feel the support from this quality. It's I was when I did the first drawing, I was surprised that when I focus on the something negative, I really don't see any positive. Like I wrote so many negative things and did not put even one for positive. It was for me, it was a interesting observation that I even did not have an idea that like that it could be any positive. Even the person I was looking at was full of the positive qualities, but I was concentrating only on the shadow side, and it's how I can be limiting myself to see the whole picture. So this is just ta-da! I've done. Everything is shaking. So next step I'm doing, and you join me whenever you're ready, is start coloring. And I want to do an experiment on. I will play my little musical instrument. So this is in Russia it's called vargan. So it's a fancy one called dragon. But if you see, it doesn't really make much sound. But I'll show you how it will be sounding completely different when I use it, when I use my body as an instrument as well. This is a jaw harp, Russian version. So I hope you could hear it. Okay, I'm starting coloring. Let's see which colors today I want to use. This one.
Oh, it's like wake up my vibration. I'm vibrating after this music, and actually so strange. It's like a tears come out of my eyes. Now I cannot draw it. It's so blurry.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's like I revert my nature. I don't know. Feel like I'm a wolf now.
Something is awakened, so see, just observe it. So see what's maybe you're paying too much attention to details. This could be. And need to like
that's my nature.
When we see like when we see everything blurry, it's some kind of we can see bigger picture. We really look at your drawing and maybe you notice something that is very important to see, not in details, but in the whole structure, in a whole in the wholeness of it. As always, we connect several segments, and it's up to you. You can color like only shapes, or you can color flow. I prefer to do flow, but just see what is what wants to be colored. How does it want to be colored? This flow of creativity. So the turquoise color is usually represents creativity. So, so notice, like we've done already many drawings. Notice which colors do you avoiding. This is always interesting observation. Like which colors do you use very little or try to not use them at all. So this is can tell you something. So something about you. It's always interesting to see when kids drawing, like they usually, I'm talking about just any kid, they don't usually use so intense colors as as I do, as adults do. It's interesting how gentle they can be with their colors. Colors on my drawing are different from what you see on your screen. Just camera does not really show it completely accurate, but it's interesting. You can use as many colors as you want. I highly encourage to use at least 3. They could be similar, but just don't try to limit yourself with something simple. like when you 3 colors, it's like at least 3 emotions that you allow yourself to experience right now. And when they mix, they create new emotions, new feelings. Just allow it to be. If anything has changed since last time, or maybe it's completely new drawings, completely new experience. And you may notice if you're working with somebody else, like when you used another person to identify all these qualities, not a creature, your relationship or interactions with that person can be changed. Like they can maybe not as profound as you wish, but they can be different. Even it's not a goal. We are still working with ourselves, but as a result of your own change, the experience with them can be changed as well. Mm. And you don't have to color all, like 100% of the space. White color is a good color too, so you can always leave some of these areas not colored. So just see how much you want. And again, you can be focused on spiral and color spiral more, or you can concentrate on some qualities. Which qualities do you feel that is a gift now for you? Which one is more important for you? Oh, this time, one of the very important is the stubbornness, like how I can be persistent, how I can be focused on something that to move forward, not give up. This is very important for me.
It's interesting how many people recognize the same quality of negativeness, like stubbornness, you know, I don't know, the other thing.
Yes, and they are, could be,
yeah.
Yeah. So some people really, this selfishness, when you're too confident in yourself, like I was surprised how many people really recognize it as a very bad quality. And I like, but it's, I was trying, like when I was much younger, I tried to defend this quality. It's a good quality. When you're confident in yourself, you can move forward. I don't know. I was like, kind people explained me why it's not so good, why you have to be modest and all this. And I'm like, okay. I cannot say that I changed my mind, but
Maybe because it amplifies their insecurity?
maybe. And it's a different, it's not just their insecurity, but it's a different implementation, and like how do you really, what do you do with the selfishness? Like, do you really use it as a, I know everything and I'm not listening to you? Or is it, I know what I know and I know what I don't know, and I'm going to move forward when I feel confident.
The first one sounds more like arrogance.
Yes, yeah. And it's, I think this is a really misunderstanding what is what. But
I would say stubbornness is actually a positive thing. Because if you're stubborn, you can move on in your life in the stuff you'd like to achieve. So this can be positive quality, not necessary to be like selfish.
look at you. At the beginning, you were asking, is it good or bad? Now you made your mind about it. Good job. It's really important to have your own opinion about those qualities. And it's okay if they different from somebody else's opinions. It's a freedom of speech. You can say whatever you believe in.
I'm getting all kinds of tingling in my right hand.
Your body is really reacting, like you, and I'm glad how you attune to your body, like how you really listen to it, that you're not just ignoring it. See, is it a positive feeling in your right hand, or is it a little bit like it could be discomfort. Just a
almost like a circulation type thing.
so some energy starts moving. Interesting. So did you work with man or woman?
Me.
With yourself. Mm-hmm.
Isn't hard to be honest to yourself? That's why it's vibrate.
I think it's a very important, when you're honest to yourself, you're really accepting, like you're really accepting who you are, and you know your strongest sides, and you know your challenging sides. Yeah, it's when you accept your limitations, you just go beyond them.
Now it's gone.
Something, it's probably just needed attention, so that's all. It's really the body is whispering to us. It doesn't have to scream when you listen it. When it's, if you listen, it doesn't have to constantly repeating the message. When I started to do the energy work, I was surprised, unpleasantly surprised, how disconnected my body is from my mind, from my soul, from any other, from all these experiences, that it was very hard to identify emotions in my body, what the body was trying to say. It's a skill. You really need to learn it.
I think I'm so attuned to it because I basically had to teach myself how to walk again last year. You start paying a lot of attention when that happens.
Yes, yeah. And what is really brings you attention is pain. Pain is really helps you to be focused on your body, like really feel presence of the body, and it's very, very good teacher, very ruthless teacher, but
Oh yeah,
um,
I learned a lot, that's for sure. I learned a lot about, breathing techniques and vibration and how much it affects us as far as like different hertz healing music.
mm-hmm.
And have you heard of the Iceman? His name is Wim Hof.
No, it doesn't ring any bells to me.
He's known for taking people up on Mount Everest with very little training through breathing techniques. Basically wearing shorts.
Okay, it's a little bit extreme.
Yeah, very, very extreme. But basically, his point is that the breath is healing your cells through the technique that he does.
I believe that breathing is like really the very important key to turn on the self-healing mechanism inside of us.
Yes.
Like it's and it could be so simple. It's really so powerful and so simple, and it's just even. But there is always there's right now, I believe, so many modalities of healing modalities, very effective and very not complex. Like really, everything is so simplified already. But we still be lazy. We still be ignoring them and looking for a magical pill that everything is will disappear by itself. So then I'm like,
That's when the body screams.
yes, yeah, we're suppressing symptoms and disconnecting our body from them, from ourselves. And I'm just one of those lazy people as well, but I'm learning my lessons. Completely different experience with this drawing. So much. Kenny, you had like all kinds of experiences in your life.
I feel like I've lived several lifetimes in this life. There are parts I almost forget until someone brings something up and it's like, oh yeah, I used to do that, or oh yeah, I was married once. People are always surprised when they find that out. Seems so long ago in different life, different world. Lived a lot of places. I was always, what I say is, I just say yes to life. So a lot happened.
Yes, yeah. I'm like, I remember there is a joke or preach, I don't know, like the story that Soul is trying to pick the task what she wants to experience during her life, and she come to the office where she can use all like pick anything she wants, and she's like, oh, let's do this. And like, okay, and let's do this, and like, okay, and I will learn this lesson and this lesson. So like, and it's like she's like, can I do it? And it's like, yes, you can, but it will be not fun. It's
Many lessons.
Many lessons. Yes, you can do all of them, but it will be not so much fun. It's
well, I think I've gotten out in front of it now to where I see it before it becomes an issue.
I met a guy in Russia, like we were together on one intense training in mountains, and he experienced 3 or 4 very near death experiences, like accidents, and he had to be reborn again over and over like a phoenix from each of them, going through all this painful pain and recoveries. And it's like he ended up becoming very like great master of massage and healing massage. That it could be very painful, but it's a very effective. I know because it's very painful because he did it on myself, so I had to scream, like really scream.
Oof.
And he said like, because I know everything about pain, now I know how to manage it, how to help other people. So it's like really you have to witness, experience what you're trying to help others, and it's a gift. Like
Yes, very much.
it's like a passing test. Like, okay, you recovered yourself, now you can help others. So it's a quite a dangerous testing system.
Yeah, I've learned that, you know, at least my mentality has been for a while that things are happening for you, not to you.
Yes, yeah.
And what is the lesson to learn, and what are you being taught, or what are you teaching someone else? This is where I'm at right now in my drawing. You want to take a look?
Yes. It's interesting, all the shapes that look like a star on your left corner, upper corner. It's a different, as I remember, this is a not as intense spiral as it was on the first one. Let's
Yeah,
see.
that one was.
Yes,
one
yeah,
was
this is a very intense, yeah, very tight. So this is a more relaxed. And again, see, maybe you want to add some qualities, or maybe you invite some support in your life that you need right now, that to activate and really maybe something additional circles that you just uh, give some support, because I see there is some room for them. So it's just see if you want to add anything there. So it's not really like you must do, but you can. Just
Yeah.
So yes. And I'm glad that it's not as tight and so intense as it was first one. So it's a
Me
different
too.
experience. Yeah. And mine is not as blue as the last one. So last one was a lot of blue. See, like when you start coloring, notice if some of the qualities could be almost completely dissolved. They can be just going on in the flow and lost in colored shapes, but some of them wants to stay very well defined. Even small ones can be very well defined. So just pay attention which one you like, which one brings your attention to. And I'm always encouraged, like, try something new, try different, maybe even different materials. Like, maybe next time I should try this highlighters. See some experiment. And if you have like soft materials like pastel or crayons, you can use even your fingers to really to press in, feel this physical sensations, experiences in your hands, in your fingers. And allow yourself to observe them, to see how it goes. Maybe some of the elements wants to be like very well defined. Very. Look how is your drawing is balanced. Is anything that needs to or wants to be added? Do you feel like your colors, if you started already coloring, is it changed compared to other drawings? Do you feel like some other colors wants to be presented? Or it's still be the same experiences, the same emotions? And you can always use this color pencils to add more lines, to create this unusual color lines, narrow lines. Okay. already so concentrated on coloring that all this, what I want to add, what I want to experiment, that's my child is happy with coloring. And the biggest challenge for me, when you at some point like your drawing so much that, oh my gosh, if I do something, I can ruin it. This is a great opportunity to do it and see if it's really happens. Because we in our life, we always have this wonder, like, what if I've done this, or what if I've done this, like, and we keep living this questioning ourselves, what would happen. This one you can try something new, and just experience it on the paper. So maybe you will ruin it and you will do another drawing, but you try and see. Or maybe you will ruin it, but it will be a great opportunity to find new tools, or maybe to find a new possibility to create something beautiful out of just beautiful on different level. So I'm the one who always experimenting, and I'm like, I have actually so many drawings that I liked at some point and I ruined them at another point, and I found something completely different, and it's become my favorite ones after. So it requires some time, of course, to fix it, but it's this is where creativity is born. When you have nothing to lose, the creativity is allowed to thrive. Like when you don't afraid to make mistakes, when you don't have expectations, when you don't have obligations to make it such and such. It's just an experiment. Our life is an experiment, and just allowed to enjoy the process. The process is what is important, not the outcome. I'm not sure if I want anything else. So how's your body feeling? How's emotions? At which point are you right now?
Okay, I am very zen. I am still rounding, and I just love the process.
Good. The process is of what is the most important. This is
I usually have a tendency to rush to get things done, but now I am just observing. I see which qualities I want to put aside, which ones I want to work on, and just being in the moment. It's very pleasant. Thank you.
very beautiful. It's being in the moment is the most important thing. We always forget about it, and it's how we can come back to this feeling. When we finish with coloring, we will add some field lines. We will align ourselves with beautiful universe, with beautiful surroundings, to allow the process go smoothly. It'll go up. It should go accordingly to the divine plan or bigger plan, or just according to your greatest purpose. Everything has a purpose. It's like really, I was writing this quote on cards, and one of the quote was that challenges in our lives, challenge, let me see if I can find it. I loved it. Challenges are what make life interesting. Overcoming them is what makes them meaningful. So it's like really how much meaningful experiences are in our lives and how much meaningful we are going through them. So we don't, everything has a purpose, everything has a meaning, everything has its own beauty.
And how many times we say why it's happened with me? What did I do wrong?
Oh yes.
Or good?
It's a very common question. Very our favorite one's question. Why life is so unfair? And it's really like some people going through more stuff, more challenges than others, and it's I don't know. It's very hard to look at your limitations when you look as a this life is the only life you have. Like if you're judging yourself that this is all experiences my soul will ever experience. But if you look when that there is a greater purpose of your soul, the more you learn, the faster you learn, the better you have opportunity to grow your soul. But it's a very, very complex story. I'm just wondering. I added some yellow. Now everything is. See how small my pencils are. I'm like really overwork them. So did you see, like, did you have find any resources that are very important for you right now out of this qualities, something that is important for you? For me, it's this is stubbornness, like just keep moving, just follow your intuition that something needs to be done. Not just be focused but because I feel it's the right thing. And as long as it doesn't hurt anybody, I keep moving. At the end, we always add some field lines, make something very well defined, so we notice them that it's they are coming, and they can go like, because this is a like we're working with circle, they can go from inside out, from the center of yourself, if you feel you're peaceful and strong and balanced right now to do it, or you can allow these field lines going through you and align your center with the universe. So you could be the field lines can go from center of you or through you. So it's different options for you. It's only you who define how you want them, to move, where they want to move. And it's only you define what is the universal help is. I was probably I was already mentioned it, but it's for me it was very interesting that the miracle is only a miracle when somebody recognizes it as a miracle. When if nobody really said like, oh, this is just a trick, or this is just everybody can do it, it's a minimizing the experience, minimizing the power of this experience. So, and it's for you, it could be different from that it's for other people. But if you say like, you know, I witnessed a miracle, I experienced it on my own, it gives you power because you recognize it. It's a beauty in the eyes or just who is seeing or looking? And what we are observing, we really have we impact it, we are affecting whatever we're looking at. We have this power, this quantum physics is like really supporting this idea in some way that electron can behave as a particle or wave depending if anybody is looking at it. So if you look at something, it can completely different behave. And I know about people like we behave completely different when nobody is looking at us. Kids are such an adults. It really doesn't depend on age. We all are acting differently when we're just all by ourselves. So, today my class is about process as well. So every step I was like, okay, so I think this is my favorite one. I think this is what I enjoy now. And I'm drawing my field lines and I enjoy them so much. Okay. So everything, every step, there is some challenges and some joy. And I'm not even sure if I like the whole picture, but it's I had so much fun during this drawing.
And I have a question.
Okay.
Recently I had a discussion with a friend who mentioned that when he was a kid, he imagined everything being small, like everything, like in your house, everything was tiny. And and then he woke up and he saw that, like that was his reality for a while, long enough for them to take him to the ER because they couldn't figure out what was wrong with him.
What was his reaction when he seen this reality?
when he was a child, of course. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that, you know, once he was trying to describe this to his parents became, you know, very activated about it and concerned. And then that's what got them to the ER. But it lasted for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Curious what you thought about that.
The question, like, if you know, in his reality, was he still be big and everything small, or was it he was as small as everything else?
I believe he was big.
So my first impression that could be about him as a child don't have any power and feeling that nothing really depends on him. And maybe becoming like creating his reality, and like there is no question that he was seeing this reality, that maybe he was creating the reality where his opinion and his actions are meaningful and very important. So this is one of the explanations, could be
I did ask him if there was anything traumatic or anything that had happened, you know, around that time, and he can't recall anything happening.
And it's maybe not even traumatic, but it's like if it was constantly nobody was listening to him or taking his opinion as important, like mom, I want this soup and I don't want this soup, and like nobody really paid attention to this. At some point he was creating the reality where he was the biggest one, and this is one of this explanation, could be. I'm not like trained professional psychologist, so this is my intuition that is talking right now.
Oh, that makes sense.
But another could be that we really don't know what our imagination is creating, so that maybe there are some parallel realities which I'm a little bit skeptical still, but why not? That you could be like, and children are more sensitive to have this ability to skip from one reality to another. Like that's why kids really believe in all this fairy tales and all this different fantasies and monsters in the closet. And my child as a like very small ones, he felt like somebody is staring at him. Like he never mentions that it's a monster or anything, but and it's so there is a little bit different perspective for children, is always like they completely different journeys in between realities. And so I would not minimize that he probably not probably, but he definitely seen something that was important for him. But the first explanation would be more logical, of course.
What was really interesting too for me was in that conversation that as soon as he said, you know, things were small, I was like, oh, hold on. I have had thoughts, I don't know for how long, maybe, I don't know, years for sure, that when I'm having certain thoughts or certain, maybe let's say conversations or experiences within my own mind, that I see things as small as well. Like all of a sudden things go small. And I kind of thought that was, at least my takeaway was that meant that those things really didn't matter. It wasn't, don't make a big deal of it. It's small, it's okay, let it go.
It's hard, it's easier to process because when you're bigger, you can you have the ability and more power to move forward. So this is a how our mind is, I believe, operating. It's a defense mechanism and it's a survival mechanism for sure. This there is like in the childhood, I believe everybody was reading about the travel of the
Oliver.
yes, and it's the same concept, like where everything is small and you are the biggest one, or opposite, because he traveled to other world as well, where he was the smallest and everything was big. So it's just what do you need right now? Do you need to do you feel more powerful and just make sure that everybody listen to you? But it's a very important, like, of course, as a child, he had experience. Like, the very important is, how does he feel right now? Does he feel that he is noticeable? Does he feel that he has this big quality, like that he is big without, like, and it's not just in size. It does not, the bigness is really does not depend on the size. The bigness is depends on how you are recognized as an individual, how recognized your opinions. But again, there should be some professional explanations, like if he is looking for such.
I thought it was fascinating when he told me.
Yeah. Kids are beautiful souls. They like really imagine so many things, that very creative. They have their own worlds, their own realities. Okay, so how are we doing? We're doing silent.
Well, here's where I'm at.
Okay, so, okay, green, new beginnings, interesting. And this is like firework, like everything is exploding, moving from the center to outside. Just make sure that, first of all, that you are supporting those green ones and somehow that they still feel connected.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna bring green in here.
Mm-hmm. So, very beautiful. So notice that you, the shapes, original shapes, that you did not really try to dissolve them, that you just converted this, let's say, original garbage in something different. So you even converted them, and they, on your drawing, they look very supportive to the original, to the goodness that it has, like something that is a resource, resource for the resource. This is interesting. So it's
I'm bringing love is the idea, is I'm bringing love to all of those things.
Okay, give it. And you notice that you are big enough, like your original circle in the beginning is big enough to give love and connect everything together. You notice that all those green waves that you've done, they actually not from the center, but they are coming from almost all of them. Just one is a little bit deeper, going from your original size, from your original circle. That you have enough this love in you right now to connect everything and give it support. And in this case, like when you support them, they will expand you, like they make you bigger and more powerful and definitely more colorful. So thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, Anna, can you see me? I know
Yes,
you
I can
hear.
see.
Okay.
Okay, so
What I've done is I try to dissolve the original shape. I don't know if it's...
yes, and I see very beautiful circles. Like first of all, your lines, like the lines, the way you're drawing them, very beautiful. Like really very beautiful, very dynamic, and very organic. The way you're thinking, lines is always about your thoughts. Like the way you're thinking is a very unique and very beautiful. So, and I love that this spiral is not as intense as the prior one, and it gives this spaciousness and expansion. So the sense of expansion, it's not tight. It's now it's breathing, and you did a very good job dissolving this original shapes. That I see more circles than any other shapes around.
Yeah. And I don't know, but just somewhere in the process, I connected with Christmas.
With Christmas.
Yes, it's my favorite time of the year. And I just felt like I'm celebrating something here. I don't know what. Just wanted to share that feeling, nothing special. Just
the Christmas is like receiving gifts, and so look how many gifts of great qualities you give yourself. Like it's really your very
It's your birthday.
very, very beautiful. And notice that this very center of your spiral looks like an eye. Like really, it's so it looks like very intense lines, but it looks like an eye.
Now I see it. Now that you mentioned, thank you. And I want to thank you. Thank you, because I think the collective energy, it's very supportive to me. Just knowing that we are few of us doing that. So I want to be grateful.
Thank you. And it's a really like, well, it's not just, it's a very good point. Thank you, Elka, for bringing it, that it's not, we are working with ourselves, but other people working on themselves, and like still be connected to this, we're creating this energetic informational egregor where vortex of energy, where everybody feel connected and everybody feel healed and resourceful. And it's the more people are, the more beautiful world there will be. So, but first of all, we have to concentrate on ourselves. The goal is to help yourself, not try to force healing on everybody else. Like you helping yourself and supporting. Be available to support others when they will need your help. So, anybody else?
Well, I'm in a process to actually screw everything, so I'm not gonna show. and we'll see in the end what happens. So
It's okay.
he's like,
As
oh my
I-
gosh, what did I do?
As I said, like when you screw up everything, this is a great point to start create the beauty. Like when you find this freedom that nothing can be lost anymore. So,
Yeah.
and it's an opportunity, definitely an opportunity. So use it and have fun with this.
Yeah, I did use a different marker for the, I always forget that to the end of it. And it is hard to connect them. It's seriously like I need a time to think.
Yes, I told you
Yeah.
it's a challenge, and what you it will be more beautiful when if you use another marker, allow this other color to create this additional lines. Like on mine, like when I use this, mine is almost the same as this, and it's not like dramatically different, but like
parallel
orange.
kind of.
So like that you are not just a spiral is by itself, like another layer, but this layer is waved into other lines. So it could be very interesting and very dynamic when you have this quality of integrating two different colors. Let's see if I.
So, but how you do the corners? So you say integrating with the black marker. That's
Like
how
which color did you use?
I'm using kind of strange pinkish, but it's a marker, not a pencil. So it's harsh.
Okay.
Sorry.
So I'll show you how I did with white, but it's white is a little bit different, but pink could be. So I did some lines, you see the bolder lines of white, and I had to almost create completely new grade system, waving this smaller lines into it. So it's not foreign. So it's still be integrated with the whole drawing. So there is some black and some white on top. With pink, it's a little bit different because it's harder to cover black marker. Pink and black are a little bit like harder to integrate, but if you pick the pink, it means that your feminine energy and your naivety and innocence can solve many problems. So you just need to learn how to use it.
Yeah, now I'm fighting with the black. We'll see who wins in the end. I'll show you.
So do not fight.
Or masculine.
So try to not fight with this. Try to go along with this. Like if you have a black, you can just follow along with pink. Let's see if I can show somehow. So if I have black, if I will use, and you have pink marker, not pencils.
Yeah, it's marker.
So if you go along with the black and just allow it go somewhere else at some point, this could be not trying to cover black, because black, pink will never cover the black, but you can just follow it and it will give you this even it's actually will give you more defined black. The black
Well, my
will be
question
more
is,
defined.
yeah. So when it's a metallic marker, it is kind of a pinkish tone. I don't know. Can explain.
Okay, so you picked all the kind of challenges today.
So my question: I have to round it with the black color underneath?
No,
Or
if you
just to be
if-
themselves like a mesh over?
with pink. Whatever we do, wherever we have an intersection of two colors, let's say I have purple and I have orange. Whichever color is lighter, we do rounding. It will be, it still be look noticeable, but it's will be much better if you do pink, because lighter color will be dissolved some kind of and integrated with the darker. If we try to do opposite, let's say here, and I try to do it with dark, I will create a spike, because it will be, or I will have to cover all these light colors completely.
Yeah, it's a dominate, yeah.
Yeah. So try to use a pink for coloring. And it's actually like if you just allow it to follow along, it's actually quite beautiful. And metallic can be even more beautiful. So sometimes when we do metallic can cover any colors basically, usually. And sometimes I do white black line first. I'm like not a nail lines, but and I use, let me show you. And if I use some metallic, I can create some metallic line in the middle. So black will be on sides. It's hard to see. Yeah, you will not see the difference, but it's still be not on the camera. It's not noticeable. But like if you do this color, let's say this is a pink color. It's already like dirty pink because I've done it with black so much. But you can create some black outline, and this black will help you to really integrate with other lines. So in this case, like if you have this black outline for your metallic, you can integrate it with the rest of the black. This is one of these options. See which one you prefer. If you prefer to go pink and black just along, or have this black covering, like guiding this pink and have
like a shadow.
Yes, yeah. Like a shadow, like river banks, something that's really well defined, the pink. I prefer
It is so pretty. Yeah.
go along is a little bit more warm, and it gives some freedom. This is has the sense of limitations.
Yeah, I see that. Thank you.
I used to love I have the whole set of metallic color pens, and they different shades, so I like them. They are quite good ones. It's a STA metallic color pen, but more and more often I use just black, because it's just easier to integrate. Everything is so easier, and it works well with everything else, with other colors, with other pencils. Okay, so let me switch camera so you can see me. And I just turn off my. Okay, here I am. Okay, so, oh, I love the green center. it looks like a cat with a tail. And it's interesting how everything is it's like a star. Everything is like a star.
Mhm.
See what wants to support this green. What kind of what other colors you want.
Yeah.
We have this
Yeah.
all these interesting colors around us, like original shapes that colored. They really look like flowers, and allow the same colors to be supporting somewhere else. Like if you have this hot pink, use this hot pink somewhere else, so it will have a kind of not standing by itself, but has this quality somewhere else, and it will be interesting. Yeah. It for me, like if we are losing some of this tail, it's oh, maybe if it's with a tail, it's like a child or cat holding all these toys in their paws, and it's
Oh yeah.
very
I like that.
very, very playful. So there is a playfulness and childish in this drawing, but this is what makes everything fun. You really have to enjoy. We have to find this child, inner child, and allow this to play and just have fun.
Right.
Especially when we work with the dark side of ourselves. This is a very important. Okay. Liesl, would you like to share yours?
Well, I rolled the dice and took a risk and it went south, but you can see it. If you look.
Okay.
I don't know if the light's very good. It's
Okay.
interesting. I started out, it was the streak of blue, which is not my normal color, and it was followed by the streak of fire. But then it kind, you could see the bifurcation.
Okay. So you, first of all, it's intense. It's definitely intense. So let me show you. What is on the left lower corner? There is so much
This?
control, like the opposite color, opposite corner, where you have no lower, yes. So there is a like it looks maybe it's a mixture of colors, but it looks like brown or brown.
Yeah, it looks like smog.
So this is very strict control, very well-defined rules and discipline. But the word controlling is the best to explain. So, and
Two colors on top of each other smeared?
oh yes, well, but you see like how they, like when they start smearing, they really creating even more intense controlling. So think if where do you try to control yourself too much, and see which qualities are actually happens to be in that corner. So you see if you start, when you start controlling yourself, do you behave like those qualities? Do you represent those qualities? Or maybe it's somebody in your surroundings, or maybe in your childhood, or in your life in general was acting like this. And look how opposite. It's like really there is a very well-defined diagonal of your drawings, and everything in south is dark and intense, and the upper corner, opposite upper corner, right upper corner is about consciousness, about beauty, about be bright, and about it seems like a freedom. There is so many free forms there. So see where in your life there is such a distinguished line where it's like, where is this opposition, duality, control and freedom, beauty and maybe something that like, yes, and there is such a duality in your life. We all have it, but this is like right now the message is to you, find this where is this duality in your life and find the peace between them. Because you are in the middle, the line that is defines border between them, boundaries between them, going through your heart, through your self. So, and of course, we need control. Control could be very beautiful, and discipline is a very beautiful thing. Another, like, I
wouldn't know about that, but I'll take your word for it.
So I found this, like I told you, this project that I did for kids. I'm like, I learned so much, and I will give you such a quote that I found very interesting and very motivating for you, for myself. So the quote is, "You will never always be motivated. You have to learn to be disciplined." So you need some discipline, and find the beauty in it. So even it's intense right now, you can still find what is beautiful about it. And it's how it's supporting the opposite side. But I love how different you could be.
Well, it was interesting because it had this Kali energy initially, like this red fire coming down and this blue. And then I tried to do something over here and I didn't like it. And so then I smeared more colors and it just got into smog.
Yes.
But then I thought, well, it's interesting. There's this division. Interesting.
So, and like my last drawing was so much blue colors that I'm like, really blue? It's not definitely my color, but blue could be about some kind of conclusion. So it's always about finding depth, emotional depth, and finishing things. Like something should be going to the end. The cycle. The blue color is a water element, and in Chinese philosophy of elements, it's the last element in the cycle. So there will be some conclusion and there will be some new beginnings. So see what is you're ready to let go. So this is a very important for you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
It was kind of a hot mess today, but
it's okay. It's a very hard subject we are working with, and it's you really have the courage to show whatever you don't feel proud of, and it's okay. And it's really encouraging for others that you can just enjoy the process, and at the end don't really enjoy the outcome, and it's okay. So sometimes it's just take the risk. It's and you find something in it. You always learn something during the process.
Yes.
Okay, ladies, do we have any questions? Do we have any comments? Do we have any requests?
Wanted to thank you and to say that I might not be joining in the next few weeks just because we will be not in the state. We go to a hospital in San Diego, so wish us luck. And I will join whenever I can. This is something that it's life-saving for me. And
so make sure that like you take some color pencils with you because as I understand, it's not because of you, but because of the family member you're going there. So the best support you can give the person be in a resourceful, calm state. So you need this resource. And if you need any help, let me know. But I wish everything goes smooth as it should be. So hopefully it will be good transition and good results for the person. And catharsis, even if you don't have time, but you feel the pressure inside of you, do catharsis. So on Friday, we will do some 3 simple exercises. And if you don't, if you will not be able to see them during the class, just look whenever, watch them whenever you're ready, whenever you need. There will be very simple ones that can be just 15 minutes, and they will really change your conditions, like your emotional state. So this could be very helpful for you, and of course for your families. Good luck, and like I really wish you a good journey. It's a journey, not just a trip, but a journey to get healed. Okay, so anybody else wants to say something? I'm always very grateful for all your courage and all your adventures and sometimes excitement to experiment. And it's a very inspiring and very encouraging and very I'm really enjoying it. So this is like I feel joy every time we do, even if I'm not very happy with my drawing. So maybe I expect it a little bit different, but it's to see everyone and see your drawings and see the shifts and how it's changing is very encouraging. Yay, let's see something.
I want to show you this. This is me being creative, and I'm making mandalas for my friends and neighbors.
Good. What a great opportunity to really share your love with your community.
Then on the back, I tell them what chakras it is and that sort of thing. And
wow.
imbue it with abundance, support, happiness, and love.
Good. I love how much you changed in 2 months.
I know, huh? Yeah.
What will be in 1 year?
Can't wait. Enjoy the journey.
Okay, so thanks a lot. Thank you for coming. So keep drawing. This is it's a very big subject. So next ones will be much more pleasant and much more enjoyable for you, I hope. Even
thank you, Anna.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Have a great day. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.